This is dictation at 100 words a minute. Can you testify to his actions on that day? What happened after the doctor testified? I want a copy of Mr. Baker's testimony. There were 3 witnesses to the crime. Have you been witnessing the changes? Please identify the owner of the car. The car was identified by the tag number. If it is identifiable, why can't we find it? We need new landscaping, etc. The preacher was well educated. We will probably promote her now. I propose to raise all the prices. Iron all of those pleats evenly. His automobile was damaged in the accident. The railroad car came loose. How much damage was done to the automobile in the accident? The automobiles were shipped by railroad. The machine was damaged by the blast. We had a problem with our rate sheets. No one could have done it. We were told what wages to offer for each of the kinds of jobs that we had listed. We were told that our department was to call the bosses and inform them if there were any big changes in the wage rates over the course of a year. That meant the wages we had to pay were already set by the unions. It was all a big mess because they were not consistent. More evidence is needed for conviction. Are there any evidences of robbery? She obviously evidenced displeasure. Evidently, the coach called for that play. Heather evidently had studied her lines. Please hand me the next photograph. Photographic chemicals can be expensive. I took a class in commercial photography. The fad has spread all over the country. Both countries wanted to save water. Were you in that bar at any time? Were you at the scene at that time? Were you there at the time of the arrest? Are you feeling well at the present time? Are you prepared to testify at this time? From time to time, the matter was raised. Term insurance does not have an actual cash value. Do you have enough income? Did you actually have more income last year? He has an income from some insurance. The family needs both incomes. The con man was a shrewd operator. Her voice is shrill and unpleasant. They had to remove the shrapnel. Have you tried the shrimp salad? I was assigned to the accident in question on March 17. I noticed that the gouge marks were approximately 315 feet away from the curb and at the curb itself. We measured them at the time, but I don't recall their length or anything. In other words, it would be in the area that would be traveled by traffic that was going west. It is my opinion that these gouge marks were caused by areas where the vehicle struck the surface of the roadway and then hit the curb. The vehicle was totally demolished. The front of the vehicle had taken a very large impact. The final impact, I believe, was in the area of about 100 feet from the base of the cliff. The fact that it went through a secure barrier made of steel cable and posts would also indicate that it was going at a very high rate of speed before it went off the road. For example, I don't go into deep water. For instance, do you want to read a book? The markup is in addition to that price. Act in accordance with the rules. She, in other words, broke the law. We want to leave in order to be on time. The witness was not very talkative. That pie has far too many calories. The judge said it was a frivolous case. I can't seem to penetrate his thick skull. Don't be such a pessimist all the time. I hope that you can mollify your father. The doctor said it was a congenital defect. What color is your new house? The party dress is badly discolored. Does that new car belong to you? The parking is all below ground. She is on time more often than not. He exercised better self-control. I have trouble understanding him. We know that he controlled the company. We had a tacit understanding. What was the result of the automatic test? Bad planning resulted in failure. He was reluctant to take the stand. Put your emphasis on accuracy. Exclude him from the conversation. The spies will infiltrate the organization. The problem was in the occipital area. After the accident, Jim was not coherent. The sale item caught her attention. The store closed for inventory. The kidnapper made many demands. Who was present at the conversation? The pedestrian has the right of way. A flashing light was at the crosswalk. Is there a sidewalk on that street? The passenger gate was closed. Robert has 3 classical vehicles. Can you wring an answer out of him? Can you hear the chirp of the baby wren? He hung a wreath of pine cones on the door. Did you see the wrestling match? Are they members in good standing? Above all, tell the truth. Sorry. Bill Gleason's office. Sure. Mm-hmm. Sorry about that. Hazards of doing this at the office on a slow day. Okay, we'll continue where we left off. We are requiring each new member to sign in. The requirements are too stiff. The school requires new uniforms. I didn't pass the sobriety test. I thought I'm not responsible for this because I'm not in control. I found out later that that was a really stupid thing to do. They took me to the police station and they were going to take a test. I said, "What do you think is best?" Well, actually, he didn't do anything to calm me down, but he wasn't brutal to me or anything. We were just talking about the accident, and I told him how bad I felt. It wasn't that he was being on my side. After all, he was taking me to jail, but I think he appreciated my cooperation. Then, when I got to the jail, they took away all of my personal things. They made me sign a paper that listed them.